It's been said that to see the future, one should reflect on the past. Rich history, like rich soil, allows the trees of idea to be fruitful, and one has to look no further than the Fort Herkimer Church to find a church that is deeply steeped in our rich American history. The Fort Herkimer Church is nestled on the southern bank of the Mohawk River on Route 5S, east of Mohawk, New York, and south of Herkimer, New York, in the town of German Flats. Built between 1753 and 1767, the Fort Herkimer Church is one of the oldest churches in New York State, and it is the oldest building in Herkimer County. It serves as a reminder of days past, having functioned as both a fortress during the French and Indian War and American Revolution, and as a place of worship for Valley settlers. The Fort Herkimer Church was entered on the National Register of Historic Places on July 24, 1972. What originally began as a single-story structure built by the original Palatine settlers at Fort Herkimer in 1753, the towering structure of native limestone we now know as Fort Herkimer Church is one of the most historically important buildings in the Mohawk Valley. Perhaps most importantly, it is the only remaining structure of the Fort Herkimer complex, a 1750s stronghold important in the defense of the Valley settlers during the French and Indian War. During the 1750s, at the onset of the French and Indian War, the Fort Herkimer settlement, an important link in the Indian fur trade, was vulnerable to conflicts between the English and French over control of the vital Mohawk Valley transportation corridor. During this time of turmoil, Johann Jost Herkimer, father of General Nicholas Herkimer, justice of the German Palatine settlement and builder of the church, solicited financial assistance and contributions so the church could be completed and fortified against attacks. Upon completion, it served as a place of defense, militia headquarters, and protective outpost during the war. Fort Herkimer Church was also a defensive structure during the American Revolutionary War, serving as a center for colonial militias and housing numerous contingents of troops. During the raid of 1778, the church was a neighborhood refuge, and it served as a stronghold from which its defenders repulsed the Tory Indian raiders of 1782. During the Revolution, the church included a swivel gun mounted on its tower, as well as a palisade surrounding its exterior. Regardless of whether you decide to simply view the beauty of Fort Herkimer Church from afar, or take a closer look for yourself, you're bound to feel a connection with the past, as well as the rich history that the church evokes. The church, located at 575 Route 5S, approximately 2 miles east of Mohawk, is also conveniently situated on the bike path trail that runs along the Mohawk River. The church is not open to the public during regular ongoing hours of operation. However, curious visitors can take a stroll around the grounds on their own or attend a scheduled event to see the interior of the church. When visiting on your own, be sure to explore the following unique exterior features of the church. There are more than 30 gun ports, which inconspicuously adorn the walls at various levels. These ports, which are still visible from the outside of the structure, were used for defense during the French and Indian War and the American Revolution. Examine the stone buttresses, which project diagonally from each of its 4 corners. These buttresses were once used for protection and to reinforce the then fortress's walls during both wars. The abutments still contribute considerably to the impression of strength that the church conveys. View the historic marker from the Aston Rogan chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution on one of the exterior walls with the following inscription: Fort Herkimer stood 86 rods west of this church. It served as a place of refuge for the pioneers from attacks by the French and Indians, and during the War of the Revolution with this church as a place of defense and a base of military supplies. Study the old gravestones that mark the accompanying cemetery, most notably Johann Jost Herkimer, who died in 1775, and his wife Katharina Herkimer, lie in graves close to the entrance of the church. Many other members of the Herkimer family, as well as colonial and revolutionary soldiers, are also buried there. Discover the line in the stone midway up the church's walls that marks the construction that took place between 1812 and 1815, during which the church was raised to a 2-story height. Uncover the original entrance to the church that is still visible in the stone on the north side of the building that faces the Mohawk River. Inspect the 1767 date in stone above the original entrance. This date marks the completion of the church's construction. Today, the church is used for various religious, patriotic, and family services, where its presence serves as a reminder of the Mohawk Valley's strong historical past.